Dogs always provide us with unconditional love and companionship. But each year, there are some dogs who take it to the next level and achieve truly amazing things. These are your Dogs of the Year.
He teaches perseverance, acceptance, and he just makes me feel like I'm wanted and just makes me feel better.
Legatha and other animals that give blood are really the true heroes in veterinary medicine.
Daiquiri has changed my life. He has opened up my eyes with what I can do as a trainer.
I was crawling, and he helped pull me up the stairs. I would have been dead in my basement.
I'm glad I can be that conduit to try to rescue whatever dog or animal that needs to be rescued.
He just hopped on that board and was just a natural. He was obsessed with it. I could not get that board away from him.
He looked back at us, wagged his tail, and showed the children and people the resilience of what dogs can be like.
Happy holidays, everyone. I'm Kevin Frazier.
And I'm Kelty Knight, and welcome to Dogs of the Year. The holiday season, of course, is all about giving. So tonight, we're giving you 7 remarkable dog stories, and we're honoring them for their incredible acts of bravery, selflessness, and devotion to us.
Yeah, and they are all different breeds from across North America, and they are all superheroes in my book. And you know, Kelty, I love superheroes.
And I see that you're hiding your cape tonight. You are a
tucked
superhero.
in.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I love them because a lot of them, like Daredevil, Deadpool, and Professor X, have turned what some might see as a disability into a superpower.
It is so inspiring and awesome.
Yeah, and our first Dog of the Year did that. He's an adorable pit bull mix who was born deaf, but his superpower is reading minds, making people feel better, and teaching everyone that it's okay to be different.
It certainly is.
Yeah, he is definitely my new favorite superhero, and soon to be yours. Meet Cole.
I teach kindergarten through 5th grade music. In music, we always have that thing called rhythm, right? So I'm the guy that sits on the floor with the ukulele or the guitar, and we sing songs, and we learn how to make music and how to make kids love music. I was kind of at a period in my life that I wanted some joy, and I wanted to rescue my first dog. So I went on my local shelter's website, and there was this little puppy with these huge ears and this amazing face, and it had the word special needs next to it. I've had a lot of special needs members of my family and special needs students. So when I saw that there was a dog that had those 2 words next to it as well, I had to meet this puppy. Cole was found roaming around a street here in Vineland with his mom, and they were brought into a shelter, and he would sleep through all the chaos of the shelter. So they started to realize that there was something a little bit different about this puppy, and it turns out that he was deaf. And one man was there with his family and asked me on the way out if I was adopting him, and I said yes. And he said, "Why would you want to adopt a broken dog?" And it really, really set off a fire within me, because people think that way. The very next day, I came here in my classroom, and I showed my students the picture of the puppy. And they started asking these questions about what the 2-word special needs even means. Think about the people that wouldn't like Cole just because of the type of dog that he is and because he can't hear. I saw the impact that he was having on the way that they were thinking, the way that they were accepting, and I knew right then and there that it was going to be the best decision to train him to be a working therapy dog.
Cole was just naturally in tune to that, and he has been just an amazing fit.
Good morning, everyone.
My first experience with Cole, with the little kindergartner on the first day of school.
All right, guys, get my pet and go to class.
No one could comfort the student. The social worker tried, the assistant principal tried. When Cole arrived and put his paw on top of the young man's hand, that provided support and relief for him. Cole's presence is instantly comforting to students.
Oh, is Janelle the winner of the class today? We always kind of laugh that he has like this extra sense that makes up for his hearing. So if I was going to use my Cole bongo to play a ta, I would play. He knows when someone needs that little bit of extra attention. Ta, ti, ti, ta.
Cole provides tremendous support for kids
Ta, ti, ti, ta.
who struggle with anxiety, struggle with feeling different, struggle with being different.
For their 8th birthday, I have a set of twins that asked if they could team up with Cole, in their words, to talk to a group of kindergarten students about their alopecia and why they have no hair. He said, Mr. Hanna, I'm a little afraid to talk to these kids, but they're picking on me on the bus, and I want them to understand what it even is. I said, absolutely, buddy. He goes, but I need to have Cole by my side. For a student to answer questions like that to their peers is frightening. Even as adults, it's hard for us to do.
Cole teaches a lot of things. He teaches perseverance, acceptance, and he just makes me feel like I'm wanted and just makes me feel better.
Ever since, that first presentation, it really changed their whole dynamic of elementary school. They both became more outgoing. And with Cole by their side, I feel like they grew even stronger. They didn't let the alopecia, knock them down.
Are you guys ready to meet one very, very special dog?
In the last year, we started our own nonprofit organization called Cole the Deaf Dog and Friends Foundation.
Come on out, Cole!
And we do community outreach programs to tell our message and our mission as far and wide as we can.
And I started to realize that he, even though his ears didn't work, he is just like any other dog.
Doing a project with my students right now about heroes. I have a nephew and he was also born deaf. And I always tell them that my nephew is my hero. My dog is my hero. Cole's literally changed the path of where my life has gone. And that's because of this little shelter dog that somebody called broken in a waiting room. It's working, it's making a difference, and it's genuine.
For all his hard work, Cole has received the Presidential Silver Service Award and was named Therapy Hero Dog of the Year by the American Humane Society.
And now he's also one of our Dogs of the Year. Welcome to the pack, buddy.
All right, Kelty, our next story is amazing. It comes to us from Hawaii, where sometimes our furry friends find themselves lost or in kind of dangerous situations. And when that happens, one man risks his life to bring them back home. And get this, he records the rescues.
Unbelievable.
It's incredible. So now, everyone in Hawaii knows that if an animal is missing or trapped, there's only one man you call. Meet Kavika.
During the July 4th weekend, I have two American pit bulls who alerted me towards the ocean. I was able to hear this dog that evidently had gone over the cliff.
911. There's a dog that went over the cliff, and we hear him crying.
County of Hawaii Animal Control received a call through police dispatch for a dog crying in distress.
Fortunately, everything would turn out okay, because that's when Regina remembered hearing about this amazing animal rescuer in the islands named Kavika.
Here on the island in Hawaii, I'm very content. I can feel the love and the energy of the land that I have on a personal basis. I go and visit my happy place as often as I can, which is the forest, the beaches, the trails, the mountains. All these little things that you take along the path of life, I incorporate into my life today. And a lot of it is being outdoors, being very physical. I'm glad I can be that conduit, basically, to try to rescue whatever dog or animal that needs to be rescued.
I got this call last night about this dog. Apparently it fell over the cliff. They can hear this dog barking or howling for the past 2 days.
Kavika is an extraordinary resource for the County of Hawaii as a rescuer. He essentially has the experience and equipment that an agency like ours may not always have.
So I talked to the owner of this property, and he can definitely hear the dog. It's about 150 feet of cliff, but he doesn't think the dog is at the bottom, so, which is a good thing. My rope is only 150 feet long.
After Kavika carefully worked his way down more than 80 feet, the crying pup was in sight.
The dog is right below me, but I don't want to scare the dog because it's perched right over a sheer drop about 60 feet. If the dog goes over that drop, it's lights out.
So Kavika had no choice but to wait perched on the side of a cliff for the dog to finally gain his trust.
Put the dog in the duffel bag with only his head sticking out. I had to abandon my rope. It's too steep. With a dog in a backpack, I'm gonna see if I can find my own way up. So at that point, I decided I'm gonna free climb it up. And it's very thick bushes and saturated with fire ants. So during the whole ordeal, I was getting bit hundreds of times by these fire ants. But at the point, I just keep on going. Made the decision to carry the dog up in my arms, up the cliff. There you go. extremely hot, extremely difficult, but there's no way that I was gonna not come up without the dog in my hand. And we eventually made it back up to the top of the cliff, and we ended up with a happy day. We're back on top of the cliff. Good buddy.
That dog had a microchip. To find the owner who was ecstatic to have that dog back.
Volunteering his time over the years, Kavika daringly rescued more than 30 of our animal friends from dangerous situations, including rappelling into a lava field crack to save a dog named Malka, or down a steep cliff edge to find an old pup named Shirley.
I hear the beep on the radio, and he says, I found her.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Yes, I got her.
I think everyone needs a Kavika in their life.
If Kavika didn't come, Shirley probably wouldn't have made it back. Having people like Kavika out in our world is gonna help give us all a sense of comfort.
Watch your dogs, tie them up, leash them. All right, have a good day, everybody. Aloha.
You know, the Aloha spirit is about bringing happiness to those around you. And our guy, Kavika, is definitely taking that to another level by reuniting so many people with their pets. And by the way, since he has already more than 2 million likes on TikTok alone, that Aloha spirit is definitely going viral.
Yes, it is. All right, Dogs of the Year 2022 is just getting started. We're honoring the best feel-good, furry friend stories of the year. And coming up, an amazing life-saving dog who just gives.
Legatha has directly saved at least 22 dogs in the span of 2 years.
And a super talented pup who's entertaining the world and breaking world records too.
So sit and stay where you are. Dogs of the Year will be right back.
Welcome back, everyone, to Dogs of the Year. We're in the holiday spirit here at the Americana at Brand in Glendale, California. And tonight, we are gifting you 7 amazing tales of incredible dogs who stood out from the pack.
I see what you did there.
You feel that?
All right, our next Dog of the Year is a Jersey girl who gives new meaning to the concept of giving back.
Yes, she does.
She is a beautiful 4-year-old Newfoundland whose owner happens to work as a vet tech at an animal hospital. And now, this amazing pup has joined the team and saves dogs in her own amazing way. This is Legatha.
I adopted Legatha. She was about 4 months old, and she was just so sweet. She loves to be with humans. She thinks she's a lap dog. She does not realize that she's 95 pounds. She thinks she's 5.
There is a nationwide need for blood donations, but it's not just affecting humans.
We have seen an increase of the need for canine blood products at Mount Laurel Animal Hospital, as well as numerous other hospitals in this area and across the country.
Most people don't think of dogs needing blood and the need for like a national blood pool for pets, but there absolutely is. The same diseases that people go through and require blood, dogs have those same diseases and they require blood. We absolutely need blood ready on a moment's notice. If there's a dog that was hit by a car, he may need 5 units of blood to survive overnight. And if you don't have that, that patient could die.
When we start to get down to 1 to 2 units each, then we start to get a little worried because one large dog can use all of our supply in one day. So we really started to push looking for donors. Typically our donor dogs, we want them to be 1 to 2, 55 pounds, and then up to the age of 6. Good temperaments, we want it to be as pleasant as possible for the dog. We want them to enjoy coming here.
So in Legatha's case, she's certainly checked all those boxes, and she's a wonderful patient for blood donation.
So I actually did bring Legatha in because I was like, well, we'll see how it goes. She was still young. I mean, she had just turned 2. I wasn't sure if she was gonna want any parts of this. You really don't know until you try, and Legatha was so good from such a young age.
Legatha has become the hospital resident blood donor because her mom runs the blood bank here. She can come to work with her mom and be available. If there's a major surgery going on and they need fresh whole blood, we can get it from her at that day. But she also donates, and we have blood on hand in the middle of the night if we need.
Legatha, are you a good girl?
So Legatha is pretty much famous here at Mount Laurel Animal Hospital. So when she's walking through the halls, everybody knows her name.
Hi.
Whenever she's here, she's happy-go-lucky. She's running to everyone, trying to say hi, get butt scratches, always a smile on her face, and always willing to help out other dogs.
You know, she likes to walk around and see all her friends, but once she goes into their room, she pretty much knows she's got a job to do. You ready? So canine blood donation, it doesn't hurt the donor at all. All right, lady, you wanna get up on the table? We shave a little bit of hair on their neck. We do a surgical scrub. The jugular vein is the quickest way that we're actually going to be able to fill the units. And she will lay completely still without any type of commands.
You're done, you did it.
Mwah. Done, let's go. But as soon as she's done, all of our guys get a little superhero bandana. She knows she's getting that snack. Don't think you're not gonna give it to her.
She was waiting.
So since we don't need any fresh whole blood in the hospital right now, what we'll do is we'll take it upstairs and we'll separate it into packed red blood cells and fresh frozen plasma. Legatha has directly saved at least 22 dogs in the span of 2 years. In Honey Mustard's case, she was acutely lethargic, just not acting right.
One day, Honey Mustard did not eat dinner, and her gums were cold and purple, and her belly was painful. On her way to the emergency hospital, she was pretty non-responsive, and I was worried that we wouldn't make it here with her alive. Honey had what's known as a hemoabdomen, where she bled into her abdomen from a ruptured tumor. She had surgery, and in that process, she got 2 units of Legatha's red blood cells and 2 units of plasma. I was very thankful. Honey could have died if we did not have blood available for transfusion. Legatha's saving lives daily.
Without Legatha's blood, a lot of these dogs would not have actually been able to go home with their owners.
That's a good girl. Legatha and other animals that give blood in a blood donor program are really the true heroes in veterinary medicine.
Time to go home. Legatha is one of my best friends. She has so much love to give and such a big heart, and I hope that she's able to continue helping other dogs in need.
Legatha is so inspirational, out there busy saving our furry friends. Meanwhile, I pass out if I even look at a needle.
I mean, other than both of you being super adorable, which you are,
Okay,
you
I'll
have
take
nothing
that.
in common.
Good
You're
point.
a wimp, Kevin.
Good point, good point.
But you know, I actually have a lot in common with the next dog of the year.
Explain.
Okay, so I'm from Canada, just like he is.
Okay, that's one. Okay.
I've been wowing audiences for years with my incredible talents, just like him.
I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna
Okay,
give you
thank
that.
you.
Okay.
And I have 12 world records, just like he does.
That's not true.
I mean, okay, it's not true.
It is not true.
But it is true that you're gonna fall in love with the super talented 7-year-old Australian Shepherd as soon as you see him. This is Daiquiri.
They've traveled all over the world together.
Which one of you guys back there are feeling brave?
They've wowed audiences at international dog shows and on AGT.
Oh my God, Jennifer.
And they do have 12 world records together. But before all the stardom, it all started with a young girl growing up an hour outside Calgary.
My grandmother owned a dog boarding facility, and ever since I was 3 years old, I was helping her run the facility. She said I was a natural from the get-go. I knew how to handle the big dogs. I knew how to be gentle with the shy dogs. I just loved working with dogs, and she really nurtured that.
And nurture it she did, because over the past 35 years, Jennifer has trained and competed with her dogs, winning hundreds of competitions.
Well, my breeder at the time contacted me and said, look, I've got this dog that just didn't go home with the family it was supposed to. And then there's this one picture that she sent me, and it gave me chills when I saw it. And I looked into that puppy's eyes and just looked right into my soul and went, okay, send him to me. When we first got him, he came out of the kennel and he just gushing love, just out of that kennel, all over me, all over my kids. And he bonded almost instantly.
Right away, Jennifer knew there was something special here, because as soon as she started training him, somehow he just knew what to do. And that continued as he grew up.
Do you love me? He's an amazing partner. Anything I want to teach him, he would learn it so fast.
Daiquiri quickly learned more and more tricks.
Great.
And their bond grew stronger and stronger.
Good boy.
This opened up a whole new opportunity that she never dreamed of. Street performing, both in Canada and around the world.
Sometimes I'd have my kids in the audience as plants, so they would come and they would put a coin in the hat, and I taught my dogs to go to the hat, collect the coin, and put it into basically a piggy bank. So as soon as the crowd saw that it was just constant money, and I'm just sending my dogs just to come and fetch it, and every time he got a treat, and he was just like, I could play this game all day. I'm like, I can too.
This duo was a street performing success. And then Jennifer's daughter, Juliet, had an idea for their next challenge.
We were relaxing in the living room watching America's Got Talent, one of my mom's favorite shows. And this dog act came on, and they did a couple basic tricks that we'd seen Mom doing all the time. And I was like, you're way better than that.
She actually said, wow, Mom, you're so good. You should be on America's Got Talent. I'm like, no, maybe. So I started running with that, and I went, okay, yeah, this is something I'm going to do.
I never put anything past Jennifer, so you know, if she gets an idea in her head, she's going to do it.
Just started working really, really hard on that goal, and it came true that year. America's Got Talent was very stressful. I felt I was over my head, but as soon as I got out onto that stage, everything disappeared. It was just me and my dog. So he calms me when I do get to that level of, oh crap, what have I done? So as long as I'm with my dog, I'm good.
While all 4 judges voted yes in their audition, Jen and Daiquiri were eliminated in the next round's deliberations. But that didn't stop them from getting international attention and getting invited to the biggest dog show in the world, Crufts in the United Kingdom, which was a lifelong dream of Jennifer's.
Ever since I was a little girl, Crufts has been my dream, and now that I had been performing on stage and doing America's Got Talent, I realized that that dream was within my grasp, and I went for it.
This is actually their very first freestyle competition.
I went to Crufts wanting to not place last. I was honored to be there, obviously, but I wanted to prove to the world that I qualified to be there.
Their performance earned them an amazing second-place finish, and with the whole planet now watching, Jennifer and Daiquiri have been touring everywhere and even earning a few world records along the way.
Daiquiri has changed my life. He has opened up my eyes with what I can do as a trainer. Get back, hop, 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 hop. He's shown me that, you know, we can basically do anything. So I'm living the dream.
Good boy. That is just such an incredible story.
Daiquiri's amazing.
And his world records also include walking backwards the fastest. That's something we could actually do. Weaving through her legs the fastest. And putting coins in a piggy bank the fastest, something Kevin Frazier knows nothing about.
Thank God for my wife, that's all I'm gonna say.
And who knows how many more records he will break in the future? We're gonna have to wait and see.
All right, coming up, we'll meet an adorable service dog who not only changed the life of his owner, but saved it.
If he didn't get my phone, I would have been dead in my basement.
And a loving hound who received a whole new lease on life and is now always on the move.
And don't you move, because Dogs of the Year will be right back.
This is such a good one.
Welcome back. 'Tis the season here at the Americana as we are honoring our Dogs of the Year. And so far we've met a huggable hero, a remarkable rescuer, a delightful donor, and a super smart shepherd. And we still have 3 more incredible tales to go.
Yes, we do. Our next story is about an incredible service dog who changed the life and then saved the life of an inspirational man named Brandon Holiday.
Yeah, Kelty, you see, early in life, Brandon was diagnosed with the autoimmune disease lupus, and he was told that he would never be able to play sports again. Now, in spite of that, he pushed through the extreme pain and became a great athlete and a police officer. But when his health took a turn for the worse, he needed some help, and he definitely got it from our next Dog of the Year. This is Dyson.
I had my first heart attack in 1993. Even when I was a police officer, I started having issues with circulation. And when I was injured fighting 2 suspects, that's when I first started getting blood clots in my legs. Spent 4 months in the hospital. They weren't sure if I kept my leg, if I was going to be a higher amputee. So I decided to have the amputation done.
During his 4 months in the hospital, his mother visited him every day and then took care of him in her house during the long recovery.
The moment that I knew that I needed and wanted a service dog was when I had my 10th heart attack. I had to have surgery. I didn't know how my life would be. What would I be able to do? I'm not a person that sits down. My vision for a service dog was to basically provide me the freedoms to be on my own so that my family can have some reassurances that I'm gonna be okay. I did my research and applied to Susquehanna Service Dog, and within a short period of time, it was time to meet the dogs, and Dyson was one of the dogs I met. It was just a great day. When I met Dyson and I told Dyson to come, he basically ran over to me and almost knocked me over. We don't pick them, they pick us. It was just an immediate bond.
Brandon told us what he needed a dog to be able to do for him, and then our trainers trained those specific tasks to help him.
When he got Dyson, you just saw a different look.
Good boy, yes.
And when you have a child that's been sick most of their life, you can't help but thinking about their longevity.
The amount of time it took from the point of me getting Dyson to living alone was immediately. And he enabled me to meet Liz, who now I've been together for 9 years, and she's the love of my life.
Dyson gave Brandon a reason to get out of bed in the morning.
In only a couple of months, Dyson completely changed Brandon's outlook on life and ended up actually saving his life as well.
Dyson's training paid off. I thought that I had food poisoning. Liz was sleeping upstairs, and I was sleeping in the basement because I didn't want to keep her awake. I ended up going from no fever to 105.5 degree fever. I knew something was wrong, and what I had to do was tell Dyson to go get my phone. He called 911 myself, and I have a cue which tells Dyson to go press the canine phone. So Dyson did that, came back downstairs. I couldn't walk. I was crawling, and he helped pull me up the stairs. My organs were already starting to shut down from the fever. If he didn't get my phone, I would have been dead in my basement.
I want to hug Dyson whenever I see him. He has saved my son's life, and I will forever be grateful to him for that.
Dyson has helped me, and I feel like I'm indebted to help others. Started a nonprofit called Athletes with Disabilities Network. So then you just have to hit the trigger, it's gonna release. To help provide athletic and educational opportunities for people with physical and cognitive disabilities.
That's a good boy.
Dyson is kind of the intro. Everybody comes and he's the greeter of the day. So some of the kids that may be a little nervous, just kind of relax when they meet Dyson. Yeah, the more you pet him, the more he gets treats, so he loves to be pet. Then all of a sudden they're ready to participate.
Oh, Dyson and Brandon are the coolest, awesome, and fun.
In addition to their nonprofit work, over the past decade, this power duo has been very busy turning adversity into opportunity. Brandon won 9 national titles as a para-athlete in sprint kayaking, and Dyson has not only been inspiring others in training their service dogs, but of course, has been an amazing companion to Brandon.
Dyson is part of our family in every way.
Dyson is just a sweet dog whose devotion to Brandon is so obvious.
Dyson is more than just a service dog for Brandon. I really think that together they are changing the lives of other people in their community. It's just like paying it forward.
Dyson has continually made me want to do more. On a bad day, he makes it better. On a good day, he doesn't just impact me, he impacts everybody. It's not just my legacy, it's his, because I wouldn't be here to do this without him.
What an amazing pup. And now he is the ambassador and inspiration for Brandon's latest company, Red, White, and Blue K9, which is helping America's heroes serve again by teaching injured military and first responders how to use canines for detecting narcotics and explosives. It is just incredible.
I'm a little teary-eyed over here. Dyson, you're a star. All right, when we come back, the heartbreaking story of an abused pup turns to an inspirational reminder to never give up.
And what has 8 legs, 8 wheels, and does not hang out at the dog park? You're about to find out when Dogs of the Year returns. Welcome back, dog lovers. The snow has begun to fall here.
Yes, it is.
It's kind of like snow. But tonight, we are featuring the top Dogs of the Year and honoring all their accomplishments.
And you know, Kevin, this is the most joyous, magical time of the year. It's all about taking care of each other, giving gifts to each other, but unfortunately, animal abuse is still a real issue, and many of those animals are dogs.
Yeah, and sadly, that's what happened to our next dog of the year. He lost the use of his legs, but luckily, this 5-year-old loving hound found some very special and new humans.
They took care of him, they loved him, and they gave him the gift that he really needed, which, like I said, is what this holiday is all about. So prepare to fall in love with Boone.
Joey's Paw is a nonprofit, and we provide wheelchairs and prosthetics for dogs. We started back in 2017 with my dog Joey, because he lost his rear legs to abuse, and we knew we had to do something to make it right.
We want to be able to help as many dogs in need as we can, give them the best mobility and the best chance of having the best fulfilling life that they can have.
With Joey's Paw, I actively search on social media for any dog that needs help, and I ended up finding Boone. He had his rear legs injured by his previous owner, and he needed reconstructive surgery. The abuse that he had suffered really took a toll on him. He was completely 100% broken. I can't even go there. Wait, I can't even do that. I can't go there. We picked him up at the rescue, and he was an amazingly quiet, calm dog. He is just so loving, and I knew we were going to keep him.
When we got Boone, we knew the first thing he needed was to do some healing, because he was in pretty bad shape.
He literally laid on my chest for 3 months. And when the doctor gave us the okay in which to be able to put Boone in the wheelchair, we put him in, and he looked back at us, wagged his tail, and took off, and it was amazing. You could see his personality just come out.
It's literally the first time he ever wagged his tail, and he's never looked back. He's been on a mission ever since.
I knew Boone was going to be the face of Joey's Paw when we took him out, and kids just loved him, people loved him. He showed what dogs can be like when you have a device that can give them life. We got him certified to be a therapy dog so he could go into the schools and the airport and everywhere else that he needed to go to. Boone loves to go to the airport. We go through TSA, and he loves getting pat down at TSA. And then we go to the gates. Boone gives aid and comfort to passengers that are nervous, and he calms them down. It's really nice when we go and we see someone that you can visibly see has had a bad day, and they see him and they pet him, and the nervousness and the bad day and everything else just comes right off their face. We love to go to special needs schools. There's a local school that has kind of adopted him into a classroom.
He teaches the kids that no matter what has happened to you prior, that you can bounce back from that, and it was an incredible lesson to be learned.
Good boy. We've come across many pet owners that have had dogs that they thought were going to have to be put down. And it's amazing when they put their dog in a wheelchair and they start taking off, and they see them run for the first time.
Say hi to everybody.
After rescuing Destiny and meeting Boone, I knew that there was hope for her because he is such a role model. He could care less that he was in a chair. He was happy because he could get around easily. And that gave me hope for her.
Tanya saw that, Gus had lost use of his rear legs. She immediately reached out to me and said, hey, can we get you guys some wheels?
Ruben's able to run, and we take him to the park, and he just smiles when he's in it the whole time.
Ruben, come on, let's go.
And to see that spark in their eyes come out again, it's just magical.
To see the joy in not only the pet's face, but in the owner's face, that is the most exciting thing.
Boone is amazing because he is actually giving dogs mobility for people that really, truly can't afford prosthetics. They're not cheap.
These dogs are not damaged, which I think is a very common misconception. They want to live the same life that every other dog wants to.
And that's what we want. We want people to see that just because a dog is immobile right now, that with a little help from us, that we can get them mobile again and have a really good long life after that.
You know, Tanya and Charlie's organization, Joey's Paw, has helped more than 1,000 dogs get the prosthetics and wheelchairs they need to get them moving and grooving towards a whole new life. So needed and so cool.
So awesome. Okay, when we come back, forget the dog park, it's the skate park for these two thrashers. You'll meet our final dogs of the year. Welcome back to Dogs of the Year. You know, tonight we have seen firsthand how dogs can really make your life better.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just the little things they do that make you smile.
Yeah, giving you kisses right on the mouth.
You got it. Now, this leads to my next question, Kelty. Do you know why? Because you're a former professional dancer.
Okay.
Do you know why dogs aren't good dancers?
This feels like a dad joke.
Nothing wrong with that.
Why?
It's because they have two left feet.
But I knew it. Dad joke.
All right, but our final honorees are a couple of English Bulldogs that use that to their advantage and are sure to bring a smile to your face. Meet George and Walter.
Okay, George is a ball of energy ever since he was a puppy. I thought, what do I do to get all this energy out of him? So I got him a cheap little skateboard one time to see if he liked it.
He did something that we call the Georgie two-step, where he'd put his front paws on the board and his back paws were on the ground, and he would walk sideways with the board. And we just thought, oh, that was just so great.
And then one day, he saw a kid ride the board.
And he just hopped on that board and was just a natural. He was obsessed with it. I could not get that board away from him. He'd get up on the board and just move around. Then he started turning.
That was amazing. When he started turning, he would see an obstacle coming, and you could see him shift his weight and turn. I started looking around at the other people. Their mouths are dropped. They're pulling out their phones. They're taking pictures.
Several times that we've been out there, the local police officers stop. There's a no skateboarding sign over there. And they stop, and they're just like, this is the coolest thing ever. Somebody said, well, you really should, make little videos and post them on the internet. And I posted a little video on Instagram. And then I was like getting all these people and all these comments and all these followers, and it just ballooned up from there.
And much to the delight of George's fans, he soon got a partner in crime when a pup named Walter joined the family.
Walter, he would watch George the whole time, but he took a little bit longer to get used to the board. Good boy.
Then the same thing happened. One day he hopped on, and I said, Marcus, look, he's doing it. And he just started riding, and it was like something clicked in his head. People always ask us, how did you train them to do this? And I wish I could take some credit that, I have the magic instructions for doing it, but I think they're kind of training each other.
But even though Nadine and Marcus aren't needed for training,
come on, it's your favorite store.
Hi. How are you?
They are needed to drive George and Walter to the local skate shop.
They're super friendly. First time George and Walter came in, we instantly, became friends. We got a new toy for you guys to ride on.
Look at that!
Anything they needed, we want to make sure that we help out George and Walter and get them out there skating and having a good time. Four-legged guys got to have fun, too.
That's right, that's
Absolutely.
Now, over the past couple of years, George and Walter's love of riding has expanded beyond just skateboarding, with George competing in surf competitions and both of them hitting the slopes on their custom snowboards.
All I did was take the wheels off, put the skis on, and with the wider board and this grippy tape on here, it was the perfect ride for George. I put the board down, and he was flipping it around. And I thought to myself, oh, he's really not that interested. I just started walking away, thinking, okay, that's fine. We'll just stick to skateboarding. Then I turned around, and George hopped on, and all of a sudden, he's riding the whole way down the hill, over these little bumps that looked like moguls. I couldn't believe he was doing that.
The whole way down the hill. And I was shocked.
And then Walter hopped right on and just went down the hill like he had been doing it for years. I couldn't believe it.
Okay, babies.
George and Walter are our children. And I think they've given us more of a life than we've given them. Everything that we do revolves around these dogs.
It's George and Walter's world. We just live in it.
They are both amazing pups, but we do have some sad news to share. Since we visited them and did this story, George unfortunately has passed away. Nadine and Marcus were obviously heartbroken, and as pet owners, we all know how hard that can be. There's nothing like it.
No, so hard. Now, they were happy they were able to give George a great life, and even though they weren't thinking about getting a puppy so soon, they stumbled upon this little guy. This is Milo, and he is their new family addition. And Nadine has told us that Walter has already been teaching him how to skate. George would definitely be proud of his legacy.
Looking down from that rainbow bridge. All right,
Yep.
It's been said that dogs may not be our whole life, but they do make our lives whole. Nothing is truer. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Dogs of the Year and our class of 2022. You know, tonight we've seen fun dogs, caring dogs, smart dogs, and inspiring dogs. So let's take one more look back at what makes these honorees so special. They save lives,
Always a smile on her face and always willing to help out other dogs.
rescue loved ones,
We eventually made it back up to the top of the cliff, and we ended up with a happy day.
and just make the world a better place.
You pet him, the nervousness and the bad day and everything else just comes right off their face.
They amaze us,
He's an amazing partner. Anything I want to teach him, he would learn it so fast.
help get our lives back on track.
Dyson has helped me, and I feel like I'm indebted to help others.
Remind us to be proud of who we are.
Cole provides tremendous support for kids who struggle with being different.
And show us that nothing is impossible.
They've given us more of a life than we've given them.
Tonight, you are all Dogs of the Year. Welcome to our pack. What an amazing night it's been. Such incredible stories about our four-legged friend.
Definitely, and thanks to all of our Dogs of the Year and all the dogs out there who make a difference in our lives. So right now, go find your precious pup and tell them that you love them.
Every single one of them deserves a hug, a belly rub, and a good snack. But most importantly, they deserve to be treated every day like a Dog of the Year. Good night, everybody.